All right, Mr. Teleferro TV, how's everybody doing out there? Now, what is expected to be a very quiet NBA trade deadline. We're about 2.5, 3 weeks out from the trade deadline in the NBA. Remember, they pushed it up a few weeks in the last collective bargaining agreement, if I'm not mistaken. Now, it's expected to be a quiet trade deadline. I don't think any NBA superstars are going to get traded. Anthony Davis is not getting traded at the deadline. Kawhi is not getting traded at the deadline. Jimmy Butler has already been traded once. He's not getting traded again at the deadline. Kyrie is not getting traded at the deadline. These are guys who are free this summer outside of Anthony Davis, but his name has been in a lot of trade speculation. None of those guys are getting traded at the deadline. So we expect it to be, from a superstar / star standpoint, a quiet trade deadline. That's with the A-level guys. Now, I do believe some B-level guys could see themselves on the move, like a Terrence Ross, like an Aaron Gordon, and this guy in Dallas, Dennis Smith Jr., will be on the move shortly. Ladies and gentlemen, the Dallas Mavericks are shopping Dennis Smith Jr. From what I was told, it is only a matter of time before the Dallas Mavericks give up on Dennis Smith. Let me not use the term give up. That's such a bad term, because Dennis Smith plays hard. He's hooping. All right, and just a year ago, a lot of people were thinking the Dallas Mavericks had their point guard of the future in Dennis Smith Jr. To me, he's a tad bit of a hybrid between a Damian Lillard and a Russell Westbrook. He can kind of shoot the ball, and he's explosive at the rim. All right, he's a little bit better shooter than Russell Westbrook, and he's a little bit more explosive than Damian Lillard. So I say he's like a hybrid of the two. Now, here's the thing. The Dallas Mavericks made a hell of a selection in the draft last summer. They have their point guard of the future. Luka Doncic, I'm sorry, y'all. Like, any Dennis Smith Jr. fan out there, I'm sorry, y'all. Luka Doncic is a superstar. All due respect to what Dennis Smith Jr. can become, because he can't be a star in this league. He's going to have some big-time dunks. We're going to know Dennis Smith Jr.'s name, right? He ain't got the potential of that boy Luka, man. It just is what it is. And Dallas understands that Luka, he might be an all-star this year as a rookie. He's likely going to be an all-star this year. That's crazy. LeBron ain't do that. Like, that is crazy. Kobe ain't do that. This is uncharted territory, and Luka's about to do it. That Dallas team has no business being even close to a playoff team, and Luka is night in, night out there competing against every team that they play. And the Dallas Mavericks know Luka's, though he might play the 2 or the 3, he's their primary ball handler. He's the guy they want with the basketball. And they're moving forward with Luka being the forward / point guard of their team. And it looks like Dennis Smith Jr. has kind of ran his course. They don't want to do, sometimes Luka plays the 2. They don't want to do the small guard. Because Luka, to me, is a little bit undersized. Like, people are telling me he's taller than what I think he is. Like, I think Luka, let me look it up real quick. They're coining Luka as like, what, 6'7", 6'8"? I don't believe Luka's that tall. I could be wrong. They got Luka at 6'7". When I look at him on the court, he looks about 6'6", 6'5" to me, and he's only 19 years old. They got him at 6'7". I just don't believe Luka's that tall. So, I believe in the future, Luka's going to be a guard a lot of nights, And I don't think Dallas wants to go the Portland Trailblazers route. Luka's got a little bit of weight on him. He's not chubby or anything, but he's got a little weight on him that kind of makes him look shorter than what he is. And if the Mavs decide to go in the backcourt with Luka at the 2, I think they want to go with if they're going to go this route, they're going to want to go with the guard who's more of a laid-back, more focused on getting Luka involved than a guy like Dennis Smith Jr., who's trying to get his own off right now. I think it's a bit premature to trade Dennis Smith Jr., but it looks like the Mavs are committed. I can tell you right now, they're in advanced talks with the Phoenix Suns and the Orlando Magic. I've heard a deal with Orlando be centered around Aaron Gordon. There's nothing set in stone, but that's what I heard. Maybe even Nikola Vucevic, who's a free agent this summer. I've also heard that with the Phoenix Suns, there's a plethora of players that you can go with there. Josh Jackson, doesn't look like he's playing out in Phoenix. They got some other young talent there. Maybe you want to pair Dennis Smith Jr. with a Devin Booker, with the DeAndre Ayton, and just let them grow together. They won't be good this year, but maybe in the next couple years, yes, when teams start to disintegrate in the Western Conference, maybe that 3 can be the core that you need. I know this. Dallas is set on trading Dennis Smith Jr. Again, I think it's a season premature, but if they know they're not going to pay him, and if they want to go ahead and start building the team of what they think they're going to have going forward, why not pull the trigger? You know, again, it doesn't look like Luka and Dennis's games are going to work. I believe if you're going to have a point guard with Luka having a ball in his hands, the point guard has to be an elite shooter, right? Like, he's got to be an elite shooter, and those are tough to find at the point guard position. If you look around the league, an elite shooter at the point guard, I mean, look around. There's not a lot. I think the Mavericks are going to need a guard that's just honestly not as good. Honest to God, truth, I think this is going to need a guard that's kind of a downscale from what Dennis Smith Jr. is bringing. A guy who's focused on making, you know what they could use right now? A Derek Fisher to a Kobe Bryant, right? They could use a guy like that to kind of be the setup guy, and his main job is to set up Luka and be in great spots and focus on Luka. I just think Dennis Smith Jr. is too focused on being his own brand, his own career right now. It might not work, and it looks like Mark Cuban is about to pull the trigger on Dennis Smith Jr. What y'all think, though? In the comment box below, y'all talk to me. What y'all think about Dennis Smith Jr.'s game? Do y'all think Dallas is trading him prematurely or whatever? In the comment box below. I'm out. I came from nothing, but I want everything God has for me. I interview celebrities. I talk sports. I still represent the culture.
I got the kids. You are now tuned in.
Yo, we locked in right now, Mr.
Telefair. Mr. Telefair.
Mr. Telefair. Mr. Telefair. Shout out to Mr. Telefair.
You're watching Mr. Telefair TV.
Mr. Telefair TV. Here with the triple B's. You can't do nothing but win.